Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. On 11th August 2017, M. Venkaiah Naidu took oath as the Vice-President of India at the Darbar Hall in Rashtrapati Bhawan. As Vice-President, Venkaiah Naidu is also the ex-officio Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Today marks the completion of 1 year in office for him. It has been a year both eventful and hectic for the Vice-President. As Rajya Sabha Chairman, Naidu has presided over the upper house in what has been a politically significant period. This period has seen him announce many initiatives and reforms in the House. As Vice President, Venkaiah Naidu visited 28 of the 29 states on official visits, which is a record for any Vice President. He has interacted with students, farmers and scientists while engaging with foreign leaders and dignitaries. Today in Depth, we take a look at some of the highlights of Vice President Venkaiah Naidu's 1 year in office. In his 1 year in office, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has made strenuous efforts to address some of the pressing problems of the country. He has interacted with important focus groups to shape and guide their contribution to the society.
In his 1 year in office, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has made it a point to address some of the burning issues in the country while interacting with some important segments of the society. The focus of the Vice President's engagements has been students and youth, farmers, science and research and culture. About 60% of the total engagements during the first year in office related to these focus groups and themes. In the course of the year, the Vice President visited 56 universities across the country. He addressed 29 convocations, including those of Indian Institutes of Management of Rohtak and Shillong, National Institute of Technology Dimapur, Punjab University, Chandigarh, Chandrasekhar Azad University Kanpur, Lady Hardinge Medical College Delhi, Tripura University in Agartala and Acharya N.G. Rangak Agricultural University in Guntur. Besides these, he interacted with students and scientists of 15 scientific and research institutions. These include Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, Northeast Institute of Science and Technology in Jorhat, Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture in Hyderabad, CSIR Institute of Integrative Medicine in Jammu, SHAR in Sriharikota and Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics, Kolkata, and the Central Island Agricultural Research Institute in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and INCOIS in Hyderabad. The Vice President has declared that he has taken up as a mission to regularly interact with students and young researchers to motivate them to build a better and secure India. As a part of his initiative, he has made it a point to regularly visit various universities and scientific institutions to understand the academic and research activities being undertaken by them. The overarching message of the Vice President in his interactions is that people should protect and preserve nature and culture for ensuring a better world. Farmers have been another significant focus group for the Vice President. On numerous occasions and from various platforms, he has expressed his concern over the unstable income they earn. He has often highlighted the risks related to their production, markets and prices. The Vice President has emphasized the need to improve and double farmers' incomes by raising their awareness on crop diversification, livestock and horticulture sectors to enhance employment opportunities.
I've been going around various scientific institutions across the country. देश के लिए साइंस बहुत ज़रूरी है. साइंस का पर्पस क्या है? To make life more comfortable, to make life of farmers easy or other sections of the people also easy. इसलिए ये साइंटिफिक इंस्टीट्यूशन जितना भी है देश में वो सब में मैं जा रहा हूँ, प्रयास कर रहा हूँ और वहाँ क्या हो रहा है समझने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. There is a need for constant dialogue, constant interaction between the farmers and the researchers. That's why long back और people are given a call lab to land. आप लैबोरेटरी में बैठ के अच्छा रिसर्च करने से क्या फ़ायदा है? वो रिसर्च जब किसान तक नहीं पहुँचे, किसान को फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ तो फिर आप वो रिसर्च करने में कोई मतलब नहीं है.
Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has often emphasized the need for scientists to work in synergy and not in silos for improving people's lives. He has underscored that science and technology interventions should improve the nutritional status of women and children in underserved areas. Exhorting the scientific community to strive to be among the leaders in the field, the Vice President has laid stress on accessing, applying and adding to the wealth of scientific knowledge. Technology, he has always said, can also help protect forest wealth, reduce pollution and help us lead healthier lives.
I have seen the multi-hazard vulnerability maps and the 3D GIS maps generated by inquiries. I am sure that they will find enormous use in planning coastal infrastructure as also disaster mitigation. Meanwhile, I suggest you to integrate these maps with tsunami early warnings and storm surge predictions so that you can give a more accurate forecast of the areas that might get inundated due to tsunami or storm surge.
Urging people to keep in mind the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the Vice President has always urged the promotion of India's culture. In line with his love for culture, at a function in Guruvayur, the Vice President offered his 1-month salary for the promotion and revival of the ancient temple art Ashtapadiyatam. The art form is a combination of Odissi, Kuchipudi, Manipuri dance and Bharatanatyam. According to the Vice President, art forms, be they music, dance or literature, are the best medium for experiencing and expressing devotion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
As Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has attended more than 350 domestic events and reached out to more than 450 people every day. He's also visited 28 out of the 29 states during the year, which is a record in itself.
In his first year as Vice President, M. Venkaiah Naidu visited 28 of the 29 states on official visits, which is a record for any Vice President. He also visited the 3 Union Territories, Andaman and Nicobar Island, Chandigarh and Puducherry. Naidu is the first Vice President to visit all 7 northeastern states except Sikkim. His Sikkim visit in June, where he was slated to preside over the convocation of the ICFI University, was cancelled due to inclement weather. In all, Vice President Naidu has attended over 350 events outside Delhi and reached out to more than 450 people per day. In 1 year as Vice President, Naidu participated in more than 12 engagements per day and embarked on 1 domestic visit per week. He visited 56 universities and addressed 29 convocations. One of the subjects close to Vice President's heart is the use of mother tongue. He has often emphasized the need for people to speak in their mother tongue, while emphasizing why the preservation of one's own language is essential to conserve the broader cultural aspects of a civilization. Praising language as an embodiment of morals, the Vice President has appealed all state governments to include teaching of mother tongue as a mandatory subject in school.
My advice to all the youngsters is always first master your mother tongue and then focus on national language and then learn English also. English also is useful. We should not be anti-English, but we should be anti-English mindset, because the colonial rule has really हमारा स्वाभिमान, हमारा स्वशक्ति, इसके ऊपर बहुत असर डाला.
The Vice President has also expressed his views on topical themes by writing articles for news dailies. On an average of 1 article per month, Naidu wrote 16 articles for various dailies. In his latest article, written in the Indian Express, the Vice President spoke about India's freedom struggle and urged the youth to build a new India by taking inspiration from India's freedom fighters. On World Health Day on 7th of April, the Vice President listed the complex challenges faced by India on the health front and said that the government must redouble efforts to provide quality health care. He also said that people must make lifestyle changes to remain healthy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In the first year of his term, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has engaged actively with leaders of different countries. He has met leaders of as many as 22 countries visiting India. Besides, he's also visited 3 Latin American countries, Guatemala, Panama and Peru, to address the high contact deficit with the region. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu's maiden foreign visit came 9 months after assuming office. During May 6 to May 12, 2018, the Vice President visited 3 important Latin American countries, Guatemala, Panama and Peru. All 3 natural resource-rich countries are upper middle-income economies with per capita income in the range of $8,000 to $14,000, much higher than that of India. The Vice President's visit was aimed at addressing India's high-level contact deficit with these important countries and to catalyze the flow of trade and investments by them. The week-long tour was a hectic one for the Vice President, with more than 25 engagements. They included meetings and discussions with presidents, vice presidents and presiding officers of the 3 countries, delegation-level talks, address to the Indian diaspora and interaction with students of academic institutions in these countries. Besides, he also visited historical sites and places like the famous Panama Canal and World Heritage City of Old Guatemala.
I would like to recall the history. India was once upon a time known as Viswa Guru, the world knowledge center. Students from abroad, from different parts of the globe, they used to come to India and study in Nalanda and Takshashila at that time. And the great historians like Pahayan, Yuan Song from China, they came to India and also wrote about India's greatness. With all this, and also before the advent of invasion, and even before independence, India's GDP was 27% of the world GDP. So with such a good resources, knowledge, sound economy, India has never attacked anybody. Never, never. That is the speciality of Indian civilization.
The Vice President's arrival in Guatemala was the highest ever political visit from either side since the establishment of diplomatic ties between the 2 countries in 1972. Following the wide-ranging talks that the Vice President held with the Guatemalan leadership, both countries agreed to support each other's candidature for non-permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council. In Panama, the Vice President discussed bilateral cooperation in fields like agriculture, trade, health, culture and education with the Panaman President. In a surprise gesture, the President of Panama broke protocol and accompanied Vice President Naidu during his visit to the Panama Canal. He also fondly recalled the India-Panama Canal Connect, informing Vice President Naidu about the participation of Indians in its construction. The Vice President was glad to know that the captain of the first vessel that sailed through the expanded canal was also an Indian. The Panaman President spent almost 6 hours without a break with Vice President Naidu, another rarity noted during the visit.
I had very useful, meaningful, constructive discussions with the President Varela, which covered all aspects of our relations, including bilateral, regional and multilateral issues. Our interactions highlighted our common values for democracy, pluralism and inclusive development. It also reflected the spirit of solidarity, cooperation and mutual respect. We resolved to fight the scourge of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations and agreed to strengthen cooperation in combating terrorism in the international forum.
In Peru, the Vice President took part in the celebration of 55 years of establishment of diplomatic relations between the 2 countries. During the delegation-level talks, the top leadership of Peru acknowledged that their country has a lot to learn and benefit from the success story of India. In yet another rare gesture, the Peruvian youth performed Bharatnatyam at an event held in the honor of the Vice President. Back home as well, the Vice President has actively engaged with visiting dignitaries, discussing bilateral and multilateral issues with them. In the course of the year that he has been in office, the Vice President has met leaders of 22 countries visiting India. These include presidents of Germany, Switzerland, Belgium, Jordan, Iran, Armenia, the King of Bhutan and Prince Aga Khan, Vice Presidents of Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Uganda and Malawi, Prime Ministers of Nepal, Cambodia and Italy, Deputy Prime Ministers of Serbia and Turkmenistan, and Foreign Ministers of Uzbekistan, Lithuania and Malta. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And with that, time for a very short break on the program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. The Rajya Sabha Chairman's first year in office is marked by a number of firsts and new initiatives. Noticeable among them has been his quick decision-making, as seen in the disqualification of 3 members. The chairman also urged members to increase their participation and get more work done in the House.
In his first year as the chairman of Rajya Sabha, M. Venkaiah Naidu has brought in new tidings. The first year of his tenure has been marked by quick decision-making and a number of firsts. His decision on the disqualification of 3 members of Rajya Sabha within 3 months was unprecedented in terms of the time taken. On December 4, 2017, the chairman disqualified JDU's Sharad Yadav as a member of the Rajya Sabha under the Anti-Defection Act. The decision came just a little over 3 months after leader of JDU in Rajya Sabha, Ramchandra Prasad Singh, had filed a petition before the chairman on September 2nd. In his petition, Singh had said that Yadav was elected to Rajya Sabha on a JDU ticket from Bihar. By his repeated conduct, public and press statements against the JDU and its leadership, and openly aligning with the rival political party, the RJD, Yadav voluntarily gave up the membership of the party.
ये आर्गुमेंट का विषय नहीं है, ये चर्चा हो चुका है. There is neither point nor order in your point of order. Please sit down.
Another important decision was on the removal of the Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra, as demanded by the opposition. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejected the opposition petition, saying it lacked substantial merit and that the allegations were neither tenable nor admissible. In his 10-page order, the chairman said, and I quote, "I have considered the material contained in the notice of motion and reflected upon the inputs received in my interaction with legal luminaries and constitutional experts. I am of the firm opinion that the notice of motion does not deserve to be admitted. Clearly, this is an internal matter to be resolved by the Supreme Court itself. Going through the 5 allegations mentioned in the notice, I am of the view that they are neither tenable nor admissible." Amid the need for further amendments in the rules of procedure in Rajya Sabha to enlarge the scope of some rules and make them more effective and robust in certain aspects for the smooth conduct of proceedings of the House, a 2-member committee to revise the rules and procedure of conduct of business was formed by the Rajya Sabha chairman. Chairman Naidu's decision to promote linguistic diversity among members of the upper house by allowing them to speak in any of the 22 scheduled languages was also hailed by the members. Starting with the monsoon session of Parliament, Rajya Sabha members have been able to take part in proceedings in their native language. The upper house now provides the facility for simultaneous interpretation in 5 more languages: Dogri, Kashmiri, Konkani, Santali and Sindhi.
I hope that with this facility, the debates will become linguistically rich and diverse. Use of new phrases and idioms from different languages will embellish the debates. Members will not feel inhibited in passionately expressing their views.
During the last winter session of Parliament, the Rajya Sabha took up all the 15 listed starred questions for oral replies on January 2nd, 2018. The chairman lauded members for the work done. In the past, only 5 to 6 questions could be covered each day and their answers given orally by ministers. For the remainder of the questions, written replies are laid on the table. On the same day, the Rajya Sabha set another record when it took up all the zero-hour issues, the first time in 15 years. Amid the thumping of desks, Chairman Naidu credited members of the House, saying the record depended on their cooperation. He expressed hope that in the future too, the members would not waste time and will stick to the schedule.
एक छोटी सी इतिहास रचाया. पहली बार all 0-hour submissions, all special mentions were fully completed. My operation depends on your cooperation. So your cooperation is good, so my operation also is smooth. That's why the House was able to set this record. I hope in future also, regularly, without wasting time, sticking on to the schedule.
On July 19th this year, Chairman Naidu informed the upper house that the Rajya Sabha chamber is now Wi-Fi enabled. This came after repeated demands from members to allow Wi-Fi connectivity inside the house. Under Chairman Naidu, the Rajya Sabha Secretariat also introduced the Aadhaar-enabled biometric attendance system. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In his first year as chairman of Rajya Sabha, Venkaiah Naidu took various initiatives to raise the level of discourse in the House. To ensure smooth functioning of the House during sessions, Naidu met with leaders of various parties before the monsoon session so that no disruptions take place during the proceedings.
It has been an eventful 1 year in office for Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. From setting precedents to making the House technology-friendly, the chairman has taken various initiatives to raise the level of discourse in the House. After a not-so-productive winter session and a washed-out budget session, the monsoon session came as a much-needed respite for the upper house. The Rajya Sabha saw a steep rise in its productivity at 67% in the monsoon session. The monsoon session also saw Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu announcing some progressive changes and reforms in the way the upper house conducts its business. He allowed the members to submit notices and questions online.
This web-based facility will allow online submission of notices by members in respect of various devices for raising issues under the rules such as questions, zero hour, special mentions, calling attention and short duration discussion, etc. However, the existing system of giving physical notice to the notice office would also continue. I am sure members will find the new system useful and convenient and will use it extensively.
The smooth election of the Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman was another cherished moment that marked 1 year of Naidu in office. The Chairman congratulated and complimented the newly elected Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Harivansh, and the members of the House for the smooth and dignified election.
After the contest, we all move forward with the spirit of friendship and cooperation. The entire election went in a smooth manner, in a dignified manner. So I compliment not only both the candidates but also all the members and different political parties for behaving in a dignified manner.
Chairman Naidu also set a precedent in the upper house by presiding over the proceedings for the entire day. He presided over both pre-lunch and afternoon sessions till about 6 p.m. when the house was adjourned for the day. The day also saw Chairman Naidu allowing 24 zero-hour submissions in the Rajya Sabha, which was a record of sorts. While the winter session of 2017 saw repeated disruptions by the opposition, the 2018 budget session turned out to be the least productive budget session for both houses since the year 2000.
I am pained to note that it turned out to be an eminently forgettable one on account of utter disregard of the mandate of this important parliamentary institution and its responsibilities and missed opportunities.
A day before the monsoon session commenced, Chairman Naidu took a step to ensure that the upcoming session wasn't a washout. He met with leaders of various parties, urging them to ensure a win-win monsoon session and sought their cooperation. He asserted that smooth functioning of the House is a joint responsibility of all sections of the House, and he did achieve what he set out to do, a productive session. Replete with wit, Chairman Naidu's speeches both in the House and outside contained plenty of quotable quotes.
Discuss, debate, decide, but do not disturb. Let the government propose anything. Let the opposition, if it chooses, oppose. Government propose, opposition oppose. Let the House dispose.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time on Monday with a focus on another subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks for your time.